Yankees are in desperate need of a win. The Yankees have won the first 2 ball games. Yankees won 4-1 yesterday and 4-3 on Friday night. Joe Girardi's trying to return the favor. The Blue Jays swept them in New York. Take a look at the Yankee lineup. Top of the order, swinging the bats a little bit better. Ellsbury and Gardner. And down in the 6th spot, how about Carlos Beltran, the veteran in this series, has 3 hits, including 2 home runs, and he's driven in 4 of the 8 Yankees runs. Didi Gregorius got out to a slow start this season, but since the All-Star break, he's hit .330 and scored 12 runs for the Yankees. They are set to take on Drew Hutchison.
And the responsibility to win this ball game falls on Drew Hutchison as he gets ready for his 24th start of the season. He leads the club with those 110 strikeouts that you see there. Last time out against Oakland, he won his 2nd consecutive start, beating the A's with 7 very good innings, 2 earned runs. He is now tied for first in Major League Baseball with an .846 winning percentage. You can see built on that 11-2 record for Drew Hutchison.
Drew Hutchison has pitched very well in this ballpark for the season. He's got a 9-1 record. This will be his 13th start of the season here at home. Jacoby Ellsbury, the leadoff man, steps in. Ellsbury 2 for 5 in yesterday's game. Had a triple in the 3rd inning. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway.
You know, we talked about it on the opening game of this series in the 1st inning, that to shut down the Yankees, I think you have to shut down Ellsbury and Gardner. They've been on base 6 times combined through the first 2 ball games.
There's a little looper that's going to get down for a base hit. Ellsbury's aboard to start the game. Take a look at the defense behind Drew Hutchison in the outfield. It's a speedy outfield with the addition of Ben Revere in left, Kevin Pillar and Jose Bautista. Center and right, Donaldson and Tulowitzki. They're on the left side. Goins and Smoke on the right side, and Russell Martin back behind the plate this afternoon.
Had yesterday off. A good job stopping the running game this year. He's had 21 catchers caught stealing. That's the best in the American League. He's also had the 4th most starts behind the plate in the American League. And he's going to have to shut down Ellsbury and Gardner if they're on base.
They both have had big stolen base numbers this season, but recently they haven't run a lot. Ellsbury with 14 steals. This is Gardner. You just think that sooner or later Ellsbury and Gardner are going to start to run again.
I get that feeling, especially today. Maybe try to start something early in this ball game. Ellsbury's got 14 stolen bases, and Gardner has 16. He picked up one yesterday.
First innings have been a problem for Drew Hutchison. Throws a pitch just off the plate. In his last 7 starts, Hutchison has allowed 12 earned runs in the first inning. And he's up against the most prolific offense in baseball, scoring in the first inning, the Yankees.
You know how they are in the first inning. It's a quick strike offense for New York.
The Yankees have scored 96 runs in their first inning, including breaking out on top yesterday afternoon. 1-0 to Brett Gardner. Inside, 2-0.
A couple of tough pitches right there from Drew Hutchison. Looked like the strike zone. You're going to have to put it in the spot to get the call. There, his number in his career 8 starts versus the Yankees. Pitch tracker has those balls pretty close. Look at the second one.
Looked like it had a corner. There's a drive into center. Pillar is back. Ellsbury retreats to first. Pillar makes the catch. Ellsbury will stop as the throw is right on the money. So Gardner's retired. 1 out. That reaction should tell you who's coming to the plate. It's Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez did not play in the game yesterday. He opened up the series on Friday night, had a double in his first at bat, finished up 1 for 5 in that game.
In a little bit of a funk right now, 1 for his last 16, so they gave him the day off. Just to step away from the game for 1 day.
There's the first pitch strike. Ellsbury doesn't look like he wants to run, and we mentioned he missed over 40 games with a sprained knee, and he hasn't run much since he's come back off the DL.
Looks like he's trying to get a walking lead against Hutchinson at first base. You can see him hold it. Now he just keeps creeping off, trying to get that walking lead.
This is popped up behind home plate, not a play.
What that does is that gives his momentum a little bit of a jump start to go to second base. And if he decides to steal, it's almost like he's got a walking lead in a running start. So Hutch is going to have to hold that ball a little bit longer, make him stop over there at first base.
The Yankees are much like the Blue Jays in that you don't want to run into outs. There's so many big bats in this lineup. You hate to get outs away by getting caught on the bases. Ellsbury tried to run and he couldn't get a jump, and Rodriguez strikes out. Hutchinson did a great job of mixing up the timing. Ellsbury wanted to run, but he got a bad break.
I told you he was trying to time Hutchinson by walking off the base and just trying to get that walking lead and then time Hutch. Watch how he starts to walk off, and then Hutch quick pitches him, and he just can't go. He's thinking about it, and then stops, and then Martin alertly throws down there to try and pick him off one more time. You see he's trying to time him up. He's going to go, and he just didn't have the timing. So he is now still over at first base.
Mark Teixeira back at first base, as he was the DH in yesterday's game. Ellsbury still not getting a good read on Hutchinson at first. This downstairs, it's a ball and a strike to the Yankee first baseman. Teixeira's had a bounce back season for sure. He's got 31 home runs. He's also driven in 79.
He had 22 all of last season, the whole season of 2014, so he has surpassed that easily, quickly. Thought he hit a big home run in yesterday's ball game against Marco Estrada. The Blue Jays were in tough against Tanaka, and they had battled back and finally tied the score late. But Teixeira sent him back on top.
Put him ahead in the 6th inning with a 2-out home run. There goes Ellsbury. Martin quickly out from behind home. The tag is in time. Ellsbury thought he beat the throw, but what a terrific release by Martin. And Ellsbury is not going to give up the bag as the Yankees are going to look at the videotape. They've got thoughts of challenging the call on the field. Rob Thompson on the phone with the video room.
You know, we were talking about Martin to start this inning about the defense, and that's why I picked him, because he has done such a good job leading the American League in catchers caught stealing because he's so quick. I thought the Yankees might be thinking about trying to run, especially early in this game against Hutchinson. There's Ellsbury once again getting the start. He glances back in to see where the pitch is.
Quick tag by Donaldson, and the Yankees aren't going to ask for the ruling. Donaldson with the good tag that ends the first, the leadoff single. Ellsbury's erased by Martin. 2 games. John Gibbons uses that same lineup, and in the 4th spot today, it's Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin, since the All-Star break, has been swinging a red-hot bat. He's riding a 13-game hit streak. He's hit .347 since the break, with 13 extra base hits and 11 RBIs. 2 spots down in the order, it's the catcher, Russell Martin. Spent 2 years with the Yankees in New York, and this year he has hit his former team very well. 10 for 31 with a pair of home runs, and he's driven home 7.
They will go up against a young pitcher. This is the #1 prospect in the Yankee organization, Luis Severino. He's made a couple of starts this year. 0-1 with a .245 earned run average. He's 6 foot 195 pounds. He was signed by the Yankees as a free agent in December of 2011, just 21 years old. He led all Yankee minor leaguers in strikeouts last season. He was the minor league pitcher of the year for the New York Yankees. You can see why Brian Cashman, the general manager of the New York Yankees, didn't want to let him go when other teams were asking for him in trade deadline deals.
Severino's got a terrific arm and a very good slider. Troy Tulowitzki takes a look at that first pitch fastball. Tulowitzki, those are his numbers for the season with the Rockies and the Blue Jays. Hitting .217 since he's joined the Blue Jays.
You know, the thing about Severino is I talked to some of the Yankee people. He throws hard and he's got a good slider, but he throws a lot of strikes. He's in the strike zone. So the Blue Jays, if they're going to go up there, start looking for pitches and try to get a feel for him, he's going to jump ahead of you.
94 off the plate. Severino's just 21 years old. He was the 2014 Yankees minor league pitcher of the year. Signed as a non-drafted free agent in 2011. Big numbers in his minor league career. 23-11 with a .230 earned run average. You don't see those types of numbers from most rookies when they come to the major leagues. He dominated in the minors.
And he's been coming quick. Just last season he had 3 jumps in the minor league system, and there it is, fastball right on the outside corner.
Tulowitzki strikes out, takes the fastball looking. Let's take a look at the defense behind Severino. You got 3 center fielders out in the outfield for New York. Brett Gardner, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran. They're all great players. Beltran, a 3-time Gold Glover. Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, Stephen Drew, and Mark Teixeira from 3rd to 1st on the infield. And the veteran Brian McCann back behind home plate. He had yesterday off.
You mentioned the outfield, Buck. Beltran, Carlos Beltran has had a big series for the Yankees. He's made some nice plays in the outfield. He's hit a couple of home runs, and you mentioned the 3-time Gold Glove winner. He won in 2006, 7, and 8.
Just popped up on the infield, out in front of home plate. Teixeira, the first baseman, calls for it, and Donaldson's retired. Well, the Blue Jays have been stymied by the Yankees starters in this series. Van Nova and Masahiro Tanaka have really shut them down. They've had opportunities. The Blue Jays just 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position, losing these first 2 games.
I was talking to Brooke Jacoby before the game today, and I was asking him what he thought of Tanaka. He said that was the finest pitcher who has pitched against the Blue Jays this season. A full game, complete game. He said he was dominant, the best pitched game against the Blue Jays this season.
Pretty good 1-2 punch right there with Nova on the right and Tanaka starting yesterday. First Yankee complete game in almost a year.
He just did not give the Blue Jays any chance to get any hits. And even when he got into trouble, and he was pitching around a lot of trouble early in the ball game, he made pitches down. The splitter, they said, was just devastating yesterday. They couldn't pick up the spin.
2-0 to Bautista. Now 3-0. Severino's really kind of unusual as a young pitcher. The Yankees signed him because they liked his slider. He had a very good slider as a kid. Generally, it's the opposite. You sign him because of his arm strength and his velocity, and you teach him the breaking ball later on.
His fastball's pretty good, too.
It's easy, isn't it?
Easy, free and easy with some pretty decent movement.
Bautista walks with 2 outs.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for the young Yankee starter this afternoon. He's basically a 3-pitch pitcher. Fastball 95.2 miles per hour and a pretty good slider, and it's a hard slider with some good movement on it. He throws it almost 90 miles an hour. His changeup is a firm changeup. You can see it says 88, registers 88 miles an hour with that changeup. Again, just 21 years old, so the Blue Jays, I think, at least through the first time through the lineup, they're going to have a look at this kid.
Comes right back with a fastball strike to Encarnacion. We mentioned Edwin since the break, swinging a hot bat. He's riding a 13-game hit streak. He's one off his career high at a 14-gamer in 2008. That's right. Encarnacion noticed it right away that Severino didn't stop, and Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, picked up on it. But Encarnacion almost came out of the box as Severino delivered the pitch, and the youngster has committed a balk to push Bautista into scoring position.
You got to stop. Watch him. He gets set. No, he never got set. And Bautista picked up on it. Encarnacion picked up on it, and so did Emmel. Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire.
Bautista breaks off of second, and he is going to be out. Bautista said that he wants to look at it. He felt like the tag was high on his chest, and he got a hand in there. Andy Fletcher is the second base umpire, and now the Yankees are still milling around on the field. Here's a look at it. Bautista takes away his right arm and reaches for the bag with his left hand. Blue Jays are going to look at this one. It appears as though the tag was put on Bautista just before he got to the bag. Here's another look. Stephen Drew comes in, and there's the tag, but obviously can't tell, and the Blue Jays won't challenge it as the Yankees have left the field. We've played an inning here at Rogers Center. Lots going on. Still no score.
The Toronto Blue Jays.
Big crowd on hand at Rogers Center. It's 28 degrees. It is bobblehead day. The trio of Bell, Barfield, and Mosby, their bobblehead has been given away here as we turn back the clock. 30 years ago, 1985, the Blue Jays won their first division title. There was a ceremony prior to the game. We got a chance to see a lot of teammates, and the fans appeared to enjoy recalling that first championship. Mark Teixeira was at the plate when Jacoby Ellsbury was thrown out at second, trying to steal.
We have talked about these teams being very evenly matched, bullpens, numbers, everything. How about the first inning, both ending at second base?
Teixeira hits one on the ground. Goins is out in right field. He throws him out. Drew Hutchison is 11-2 for the season, but he has been outstanding here at Rogers Center all season long.
9-1 in his starts here at the Rogers Center. And take a look at that earned run average, 268. That is the 8th best in the American League for a pitcher at home. And his whip is just 1.12. There's something about Rogers Center this season for Drew Hutchison. It just brings out the best in him. What's funny about it, Buck, is last year it was just the opposite.
Absolutely flipped last year. Those are his numbers for his career. 18-6 in 30 starts. This is hit hard by Brian McCann, but well fouled. It was a nice catch by a fan in the 5th deck. McCann, another 20 home run season for the Yankee catcher. Strike 2.
Those wins that we were talking about with Hutchison, that's tied with Felix Hernandez for the 2nd most in the American League. 9 wins at home.
So fly ball to center field. Pilar using that glove. This ball carries him right to the warning track. Just a stride short of the wall. Well, you mentioned that great record this season for Drew Hutchison here at home, and you go back to his last 8 starts. He's been unbeatable. 7-0 ERA under 2. Opponents hitting just over 220, and the whip just over 1. He has pitched with much confidence here.
The earned run average under 2. That's just 11 earned runs in 49 2/3 innings here at home. And of course, he gets the support like he has all season long.
This is Carlos Beltran, who has had a big series against the Blue Jays. On Friday night, he hit his 2nd career pinch hit home run. Hit a 3-run home run in the 8th inning off of Aaron Sanchez with 1 out. And that erased a 3-0 deficit as the Yankees had scored 1 run, and then Beltran came off the bench to bat for Chris Young and hit a pinch hit home run.
Had a big home run in yesterday's game. They moved him up to the 3rd spot, and he homered in the 1st inning.
Goins ranges to his right, throws quickly to first. Hutchison has a 1-2-3 2nd inning. Blue Jays got to get the bats going. The Yankees have really quieted them. Those big bats. Hazel, what you got for us today?
Hi, Buck. Luis Severino had a meteoric rise through the Yankees system. In fact, he was #1 on the Yankees' top 30 prospects list. You guys mentioned the small body of work, but what's really impressed this organization is the 21-year-old's poise. Manager Joe Girardi tells me that he competes and he never gets rattled out there. In fact, in his big league debut versus the Red Sox, he got into a lot of 3-2 counts, but was still able to make his pitches. And to further that point, in that same game, gave up a monster home run to David Ortiz, his boyhood idol. Instead of getting phased, he went on to retire the next 6 batters. As for what Girardi is looking for from his starter this afternoon, he says he wants him to avoid long counts because, as Buck, as you know, that usually is a good indication that he's not locating his pitches.
That's a great point, Hazel, that anytime you get over 5, 6, 7 pitches in an at bat, that gives the hitter a distinct advantage. 91 miles an hour. That's more of a cut fastball than that true slider that he has. Encarnacion was at the plate when Bautista was picked off second. And they scored it a pickoff, and I think it was more like a caught stealing because Bautista broke for third and Severino then stepped off and threw to second base. Encarnacion started the bat and wanted to check his swing and couldn't. It's now 2-2.
You know, you talk about free and easy, and what that means as a hitter, you see the nice fluid delivery that he has, and all of a sudden that ball jumps on top of you. You know, that's the problem I think the Blue Jays are going to have this afternoon as they try to figure out Severino. That one was 98 miles an hour. And you see those mechanics and the delivery, it's nice and easy, and all of a sudden that thing just jumps on you, and you're late.
How do the 3 contrasting styles of the Yankees starters over the weekend present a problem to the Blue Jays? You had Nova with that sinker and curveball, and then Tanaka with a lot of splits.
I think it's going to be really tough on all the hitters. We talk about the Blue Jay pitchers and the different contrast of deliveries and the stuff that they have. Yankees have the same kind of stuff.
Nova coming back from Tommy John surgery, had a great outing yesterday, or excuse me, on Friday, and then Tanaka yesterday.
Yeah, you got that hard sinker curveball. Then you got the great splitter yesterday. Now you got the big fastball slider. They've also got they also have CC Sabathia, who's from the left side a little bit different. Then they've got Michael Pineda coming back soon.
Pineda is on a rehab assignment, and they hope to have him back soon. CC Sabathia did the ball well against Cleveland in his last start. Line drive, base hit for Justin Smoke.
That's about the 6th ball in the series that Smoke has hit hard. Watch this one. Change up. And he's all over this one. Head down, and he rips it right back through the middle.
What a good looking swing right there. Boy, his head stayed right on that changeup, and he ripped it into center. It was 89 miles an hour, and that was his changeup. And when you think of that velocity, you think of Felix Hernandez of the Mariners. He throws a hard changeup like that.
Hard changeup, but he doesn't get the movement. This kid doesn't get the movement that Felix does, but it's the same idea.
I don't think anybody wants to be like King Felix today.
No.
He gave up 10 earned runs to the Red Sox in 2 1/3 yesterday. 0-1 to the catcher, Russell Martin. Veteran hitters like Martin and Encarnacion, Bautista, and Donaldson, they all like to have experience against the pitcher they're facing. And certainly that's not the case with Severino. It's his first time Blue Jays have seen him.
You know what Russell does, though? He does a good job of really working over the pitcher. Every single at bat, he'll get a lot of information. He's one of the top players in the American League at seeing pitches per at bat.
These are the dog days of August, and for a catcher, it's really a challenge to keep the timing sharp. And McCann holds on to it as Martin strikes out. It's the third strikeout for Severino. Foul tip into the catcher's glove. We mentioned Severino's just 21 years old. You see his combined numbers in 19 starts. He made 8 starts at Double-A Trenton before he was moved up to Triple-A.
Moving very quickly. Again, he was at 3 stops last year for the Yankees. 2 more this year in the minor leagues, and now here in the big leagues. Those are pretty impressive numbers.
Ryan Goins, the second baseman. Severino made 3 starts against the Blue Jays AAA ball club, the Buffalo Bisons. June 10th, June 26th, and July 12th. I spoke to Gary Allenson, the manager of the Bisons, and after the first 2 starts he had seen Severino, and he said he's the real deal. He said when we saw him it was men against boys.
That's why everybody wanted him. When the Yankees were talking about acquiring some players at the trade deadline, everybody wanted this guy, and you can see why. And Brian Cashman said thanks but no thanks, but I'm holding on to my young players.
Now the Yankees had a youngster get his first big league hit yesterday, Greg Bird, the first baseman. Now Severino's just 21. Broken bat. That's going to be caught by Stephen Drew. Goins is retired. The Blue Jays leave a runner. They get a hit against Severino. We'll go to the third. No score.
Blue Jays, specifically the outfield of Bell, Mosby, Barfield, and we happen to be joined by Mr. Jesse Barfield here right now. Jesse, what was that ceremony like for you? You had a chance to get together with some of your former teammates this week, but to be able to celebrate it in front of this crowd.
Well, this has been a great time for us. For me, it was a love fest. These fans here are amazing. My teammates are incredible. You know, just to see what's going on in the city of Toronto, it's just great for baseball. This pennant race is going to go down to the end, and I just hope they continue to get the fan support the way they've been getting it here now, and the city's electric.
People tend to forget that it wasn't until the second last day of the '85 season that you guys clinched, and you were in first place for quite a while, but this is not something that's won in August, is it?
No, I've been saying it all along. The Yankees are not going to roll over. That organization knows how to win. I mean, they got a lot of championships as well, but you know, this is good. The team is the team know what they have to do. You know, it's going to be one game at a time, one series at a time, and one pitch at a time.
People talk about the Blue Jays batting order and why is Tulowitzki leading off, and you know, you look at the batting order that you guys used in that clinching game. I think you were hitting 7th, Tony Fernando was hitting 8th. It really doesn't matter where you hit in the lineup, does it?
It doesn't matter at all. I hit 8th a lot of that season at 85. It doesn't matter as long as you get your at bats. Hopefully some men are on base. If not, then you get the rally started for the next guys. It doesn't matter.
Well, listen, enjoy the afternoon, and thanks for coming out and joining us today.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jesse Barfield, let's send it back to you, Buck.
Thank you, Barry. And Barry did a terrific job last night at the dinner interviewing the former players. Did a great job, and it was a really good opportunity for all of us to get together. Of course, got to see George and Lloyd and Jesse, and then Dave, Stieb, and Rance, and all those players that came back. It was quite a good reunion.
You guys weren't teasing each other, were you?
Oh, man.
Did you hear some of the jokes from back then, too? How they used to razz each other?
The same old jokes. Chase Headley hits it on the ground. No problem for Justin Smoke. Well, we talk about the 85 season. The team had a build-up. 83, they were pretty good. 84, the Tigers got off to a great start, but it all came to a head in 1985, and the outfield had a lot to do with that team's success.
Well, great offensive numbers on the corners in the outfield. You want power, and you certainly had that with those numbers there. And you wanted some speed in the middle of the diamond, a great defender, and you had that in the Shaker, Lloyd Moseby. You also had great defense from all three of them and a strong throwing arm in the outfield in Jesse Barfield. It was, for me, a prototypical type of athletic outfield that you need to have to win.
Yeah, you had power at the corners. You had grace and speed in the center with Moseby. Jesse Barfield, I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw as well as Barfield threw throughout his career. This is Didi Gregorius, the shortstop. He picks it inside. It's a ball on the strike.
That team, that 85 team, there were athletes all over the diamond. I mean, it was ridiculous trying to hit against them.
Dave Stieb, in my mind, the best pitcher ever to pitch for the Blue Jays. There were 265 innings that season. Nolan Alexander won 17 games. But it wasn't until Tom Hinkie joined the team in mid-July that everything was in place, not unlike what's happened to the Blue Jays here at the trade deadline.
You get that back end of the bullpen figured out, you're going to win a lot of games.
That's a good slider. Nothing wrong with that pitch. Hutchison's had a much better slider the last several starts. He's got depth to it, and it's a late breaking slider.
And not trying to force that ball in there. He's just letting it go. He's just throwing it, just letting it nice and easy instead of trying to guide that ball.
We got that pitch inside. 2-2 to Gregorius.
At times it looks like Hutch tries to force the issue, tries to force the pitch there, and then he overthrows it. And he comes out of his delivery in the last couple of starts. He's looked very composed, very compact, and he's just letting that ball work.
Another slider trying to catch that outside corner, and Gregorius gets a piece of it. Hutchison has retired 6 straight. Gave up a leadoff single to Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury was thrown out by Russell Martin to end the first. Off speed pitch pulled to second. Goins throws out Gregorius, 2 down. Hutchison, we mentioned his 18 wins. He picked up 18 wins in his first 30 home starts. That's the best win total in those first 30 major league starts for any Blue Jay in franchise history. And this is a tough pitcher's ballpark.
So it's in there. It can happen. Well, everybody keeps talking about, well, Drew Hutchison's going to be the guy they have to skip. He's not doing that. He's 11-2. I know his ERA's up there, but show me what he's been doing lately. And if you watch him day in and day out like we do, he's found something. He's made some adjustments on the mound, and he's made some adjustments working with Pete Walker down in that bullpen, and they seem to be paid off for him.
Another changeup. Smoke will flip to Hutchison. Quick inning for Hutchison. He retires Stephen Drew to end the third. When we come back, it'll be Pilar Revere and top of the order, Troy Tulowitzki.
Home game, the Blue Jays pay special tribute to the Canadian Forces, and today we salute Master Seaman David Desmond. David Desmond hails from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and he is the third-generation member of his family to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. He has served tours on board HMCS Fredericton, HMCS Charlottetown, and HMCS Toronto. Master Seaman David Desmond, today's Sunday Salute. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry, and congratulations to Master Seaman Desmond, as he is honored here today, and as always, Mark Burley presents him with that Blue Jays jersey. It's a great tradition the Blue Jays have started here to honor the men and women of the Canadian Forces on Sunday home games. Kevin Pillar will start things off against Luis Severino. Severino very aggressive with that fastball. Blue Jays haven't homered in 2 games. That's a drought for them. Well, that ball ate up Pillar. Headley takes his time. 1 down. Lots of run on that fastball inside.
You know, you're talking last inning about the Yankees starting pitching, and when the season began, everybody thought that that was going to be the Achilles heel or the weak spot for the New York Yankees. We have watched him now 6 games over the last week. And I don't know about you, partner, but these guys have been very impressive, I think. Tanaka, Nova, Severino now. We saw Evaldi. Guys with big arms and good stuff.
Yeah, the Blue Jays won that ball game against the Yankees. Evaldi started the Friday night game, went 6 1/3, allowed just 1 run on 5 hits. Then Nova gave up 4 runs. The big blow, of course, the grand slam to Justin Smoke. And Tanaka allowed 2 runs on 3 hits in his start. And the Blue Jays pitched better than the Yankees pitching in that series.
And now the tables have turned.
They sure have.
On this weekend, it's just the opposite. The Yankees are just out pitching the Blue Jays by a little bit, and they've won the first 2 games in this series.
Ben Revere pops it into the seats out of play. Mentioned the Yankees have won the first 2 games of this 3-game series. On Friday night, Ivan Nova pitched out of a couple of jams, and Tanaka, Blue Jays had him on the ropes, but could manage just 1 run in a bases loaded, no out situation, middle of the game.
Always seemed to come up with the big pitch when he needed to yesterday afternoon.
Ben Revere with a 2-2 count against Severino. Breaking ball, he gets a piece of it.
Boy, I'd like to get him on. Let him start to use his legs a little bit more on the bases to steal bases and score runs.
Get on there and serve as the table setter for Troy Tulowitzki. Revere is now 27 years old. And Revere didn't like that call, and you can see why. Ball looked like it was off the plate outside, and he is called out.
He had the same reaction on a strikeout in yesterday's ball game, a pitch that was inside. There's the pitch that you were talking about, that number 6 right there. It looked like it might have been out of the zone. This is the overhead. It's clearly off the plate. You can see it crossing that white chalk line of the batter's box. So Ben Revere certainly does have an argument.
It's a high fly ball. Beltran backing up. Waits for it. Now loses it in the sun. Tulowitzki will end up at second. Beltran had it all the way. And then he sensed he was going to lose it. Twisted his body to the side. And it hits off his glove and lands safely as Tulowitzki ends up at second.
You know, we have seen this more than one time here at this ballpark. This time of the day, you're looking directly up into the sun right there, and the ball just disappears. Even for a Gold Glover like Beltran, you can see he is fighting it, and he has no idea where that ball is. And fortunately for the Yankees, that ball doesn't ricochet too far away from Beltran. Tries to shade it, and it hits, just goes a couple of feet away from him.
That's scored an error on Beltran. That's his 4th error of the season. To me, that's a tough error. He loses it in the sun.
It's not an error.
That's not an error at all. I mean, he was camped under it, was tracking it, and then it gets right into the sun. I don't think he should get an error for that. Popped out of play by Donaldson. It's a ball and a strike.
Boy, now the Blue Jays have to take advantage of it. You know, they've been missing their opportunities in this series to come up with big base hits. They got the right guy up there in my mind.
Well, we mentioned the Blue Jays 1 for 17 with runners in scoring position in the first 2 games. And Donaldson taps it foul. Donaldson on this homestand just 3 for 19. And that just reflects the fact the Blue Jays have run into some tough pitching.
You have the Oakland A's to start this homestand, and they are #1 in the American League in ERA. And now you got these big starters from the Yankees here.
Driven into right. That's a base hit. Tulowitzki's around third. He's going to score, and Donaldson gives the Jays the lead.
Well, that's the hit that's been missing, I think, all series long. Take advantage of a mistake by the defense. Fortunately, that ball gets in the sun, and Tulowitzki's at second base, and then you got to cash him in, and they got to finish it off. And Josh Donaldson's going to do that breaking ball, and he drives it into right field for a base hit. And the Blue Jays score first.
That's a great approach from Donaldson, taking advantage of the Beltran air. He lost the ball in the sun. Now Bautista.
Josh Donaldson has come up with so many base hits, big base hits for the Blue Jays. That's a breaking ball. Instead of trying to pull that ball, he stays right with it and enjoys that RBI single.
Bautista with a mighty cut, fouls it straight back with that RBI. Donaldson breaks the tie with Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt of the Rockies and Diamondbacks respectively. He now leads the majors in RBIs. Tulowitzki comes in to score. Bautista walked in his first at bat. He's second in the American League in base on balls. High and deep to left. Get up, ball, get up.
Take advantage of a mistake by the opposition right there. Ball gets in the sun. Runners at second base, you cash them in, and then the big boys hit a hanging slider right here. That is a hanger, and Bautista sends it out of here for number 28. Exclamation point here in the third inning.
RBIs number 81 and 82 for Bautista. Foul ball rips the mask off of Brian McCann. Boy, what a good swing. He got that hanger, and home run hitters like Bautista, they don't miss them very often.
He had a good swing, I thought, at the high fastball that he just fouled back. And then when Severino makes the mistake, Bautista jumps all over.
Well, that snaps that 2-game homerless streak. Donaldson with the RBI single. Bautista, a 2-run homer. Tough to keep these guys down for too long.
Well, I like how they went through the first time gathering some information against Severino. Now second time through, Donaldson and Bautista both have a hit.
They have combined to drive in 169 runs now. And Encarnacion is just behind them with 65. These two teams are so evenly matched, it's hard to separate them.
You look at the numbers, and they're right there, right next to each other, up and down the columns.
Severino strikes out Encarnacion, second strikeout of the inning, but the Blue Jays strike with 2 outs. They take advantage of an error by the right fielder, Beltran. Donaldson singles, and then Bautista hits his 28th homer. A 2-run shot, 3-0 Blue Jays.
The 30-year anniversary of the 1985 Toronto Blue Jays. We are now joined by the second member of the outfield, Mr. Lloyd Moseby. Lloyd, when you see the crowd and the way the city of Toronto is reacting to this team now, does it bring back some memories of how you captivated that fan base in '85?
Oh, absolutely. We were, say what you want to say, we had a great fans. They came out in large numbers, and they loved us, and we loved them. It was a great chemistry. Absolutely.
I know that you've gotten to know the Blue Jays center fielder, Kevin Pillar. I know you're a big fan of his play, but you just do have one little issue with him, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a Laker fan, a poor kid. I mean, I think he's forgotten those days. Those days are over, Magic Johnsons and all of that. I told him that. He needs to get over that and give it a real team like the Golden State Warriors.
Take us back to that clinching game, and, you know, we look at a beautiful day here, and if it was a lousy day, they could close the roof. It was not pleasant, was it?
No, it wasn't a good day. It really wasn't. I can remember that the day before the clinch, I dropped a fly ball when it was raining, and I'm telling you, I was miserable. I couldn't sleep the whole night, but the next day we came back. I hit a home run, and Willie Upshaw hit one after me, and we clinched it. So, but those were nervous times, believe me.
Well, Lloyd, thanks so much for doing this. It's quite a pleasure.
Thanks, people. Hold up now. You owe me $50. I mean, Fergie Oliver always gave us $50. Come on, man. Come on, yo.
Let's see. I got a loony. That's all I can do. Buck, help me here. Where's my 50s?
That is absolutely the truth. When the Blue Jays players used to do interviews, they would get $50.
Absolutely.
And you can remember coming in as a visiting player, the players always...
I'd go camp out next to Fergie. Say, Fergie, you need an interview, big guy?
Oh,
I need a nice dinner.
That was the way it was. And Lloyd wanted his $50 from Barry. Ellsbury strikes out. One down here in the fourth. Boy, this is a big inning for Drew Hutchison. The team scores 3 in the bottom of the third. You got to come out and put up a 0.
Yeah, and you're facing the top of the lineup. Jacoby Ellsbury is going to swing over the top of this breaking ball. Looks like Hutch has got that slider working today. He's putting it in a good spot. Second strikeout of the afternoon.
9 straight retired by Drew Hutchison. Brett Gardner, he flied out to center his first time up. You know, that Blue Jays team in '85, Bell led the team with 28 home runs. Barfield hit 27. Mosby hit 15. They hit 158 home runs, but had 144 stolen bases. It was a well-rounded team that could run, they could pitch, led the American League in ERA.
Told you that they had athletes all over the diamond. Who led the team in RBIs?
George Bell
with
95.
Look at that.
Yeah.
How about evenly spread out those RBIs? They didn't have a 100 RBI guy.
No. There were 8 guys with 50 or more RBIs.
8 guys with 50 or more RBIs.
2 balls and a strike to Brett Gardner.
How many home runs did they say they
hit? 158 home runs.
And your 4 was?
Yeah, I added to that.
They won't hit 154 without you, man.
Yeah, they did. Well, that's, you know, every little bit helps, Pat.
4 more than I hit.
Let's see, how many at bats? I had a 99 at bats that year.
So over 600 at bats, that's 16 home runs. No, that's 24 home runs.
Gardner strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 4th.
Scotty Carson was giving me that one for you. He wanted me to like egg you on that one. A fastball this time from Hutchison, and it ties up Gardner for the second out.
Boy, good spot with that fastball inside. You can see how Gardner really had to try to fight to make contact and couldn't do it. Back-to-back strikeouts. Alex Rodriguez was a strikeout victim in the 1st. Inside. This is a real test for the Blue Jays. They have lost the first 2 games. They don't want to fall any further behind the Yankees. They're game and a half back. Just want to make sure that the Yankees understand you're not going to collapse. A lot of baseball left. These 2 teams will meet in home-and-home series once again in September.
Yeah, I keep looking at that. I keep looking at that 4-game series in New York. Not the middle of September. And neither one of these teams, they're not going anywhere. This is going to go all the way down. So it's exciting. Both teams are very excited about being here. Check back in about a month and let's see where we are.
John Gibbons knows this is more than a 2-team race as well. And Rodriguez takes a 2-out walk. That'll snap 10 straight retired by Hutchison.
Just got a little bit ahead of himself right there, trying to finish off the inning, and then overthrew those pitches and then ended up walking Rodriguez. Now he's got to get back into it. His first 2 at-bats this inning, he was just letting that ball work instead of trying to force it there.
And trying to guide it in there, and now he's got to deal with Mark Teixeira. Teixeira is late on that fastball. Baltimore 59 and 56. They're 5 games back of the front-running Yankees. 3.5 games behind the Blue Jays, and Baltimore starting to swing the bats. Geraldo Parra, who they picked up from the Brewers, doing a nice job. Chris Davis is on fire right now.
You think?
Wow.
15 home runs in his last 23 games.
Homered twice yesterday.
Game winner last night. 34 home runs now for Chris Davis.
One behind Nelson Cruz for the Major League lead. It's a fly ball to right. Bautista's got to deal with that sun, trying to get an angle on that ball. He stays with it and makes the play. Hutchison throws up a 0. 1985, 30 years ago, these three outfielders led the Blue Jays to their first division championship. They were honored today in a ceremony before this game.
Here at Rogers Center, and I am honored to be joined by the Terminator, Tom Henke. And Tom, you told me a great story last night about how you became the Terminator. Maybe you can share that with our viewers.
Yeah, John Cerruti and I, good friend John, God bless him. Him and I were teammates in Syracuse in 1985, and we went out and seen the movie when it came out. And I was having such a great year down in Syracuse. He kind of nicknamed me the Terminator, and it followed me up into the big leagues. And like I said last night, I've been called a lot worse at times, so it stuck, and I was very pleased.
Tom, they played the song as you came out during the ceremony today. When was the last time you heard that?
The Terminator song, yeah, that's been a while. Actually, we find it online occasionally down in the States, and the kids, my grandkids, all get a laugh about it. But, that was one of the amazing things that it just amazed me about this city and all the fans, and they took me in and made me one of their own and made a song about me. For a country boy coming from a town of about 800 people, that was pretty amazing.
You were 26 when the Blue Jays called you up, and you get pushed into a very, very high-stress job as a closer. Can you even imagine what it must be like for a 20-year-old and Roberto Osuna to do that in his rookie year?
It's a tough job. It really is. And sometimes I think it gets overlooked a little bit. But, if the kid's mentally tough and the fans are fair with him, I think he'll be a great, great closer, and we'll be here for a lot of years to come. They always ask me, so what's it take to be a great closer? And just a short memory. You got to forget those games that you give up that home run or you give up the tying run or whatever. You just got to go out there and stay the course, try to be consistent, and go out and save 9 out of 10 games, and you're good.
Oh, there you go. You heard it. There is the Terminator, Tom Henke. We'll send it back to you, Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry. Of course, Tom Henke turned our fortunes around when he was called up from AAA Syracuse. Had a stretch of 3 wins and 3 saves in his first 6 appearances.
I remember facing Hank when he was with the Texas Rangers and he was a starter. And I'm like, wow, as soon as this guy gets it, he's going to be good. He was raw when he first came up with the Texas Rangers. Next thing I know, he's with the Blue Jays. And they put him in the bullpen. I'm like, wow, what a good baseball decision that turned out to be.
Smoke pops this one down the left side. That's going to be out of play. You know what? We got him for Cliff Johnson. And they traded Cliff Johnson to the Rangers. And the manager of the Rangers, Doug Rader, at the time, wasn't a big Tom Henke fan. He was miscast as a starter, like you said. And then I had an interesting moment today in the dugout. John Gibbons and Tom Henke exchanged a conversation they had in Syracuse in 1985. Gibbons was playing. Henke was there. Oh, what a play by Chase Headley. Headley, a former Gold Glover, makes a Gold Glove play to rob Smoke of another hit. He lined it to the third baseman in that shift.
Well, what's new? Justin Smoke hits another hard ball, but this time it's going to find the glove of Chase Headley for the first down. That's how you stay behind that baseball. And he almost gets it by him. So what was the conversation about?
It was the fact they sat together and had a chat down in the bullpen in Syracuse. John was playing for the Mets, and Henke was just coming up with the Blue Jays.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Gibbons is the one that brought it to Tom's attention. I remember you and I had a conversation down in Syracuse. Russell Martin, the catcher, takes a strike. It's 1-1. It was good to see all the players before they were introduced. Troy Tulowitzki came over and made a point to introduce himself to all of the alumni from that '85 team. Really an impressive gesture for basically a newcomer to the organization.
That was so cool how the present day players took the picture, the photograph out to the alumni guys out there, and each one of the guys from their position handed it over to the guy who played their position 30 years ago.
Yeah, it was a very classy ceremony. And Tulowitzki, he made a point early before he ever went on the field to loosen up, to come down and introduce himself to each of the alumni. Russell Martin takes ball 4, 1 out walk. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Caleb Joseph, the backup catcher. He has 40 RBIs, and Parr, we mentioned his name. He has an RBI today. He hit a home run in the first inning off Kendall Graveman. Oakland A's going through a tough time. Ryan Goins hit a soft liner to second his first time up. Blue Jays need to break this trend of scoring in only one inning. They have done that a lot recently. Well, they'll put up 3, maybe 4 runs in an inning, and that's it.
They did it yesterday, scored 1 run in the 5th. They did it the day before that, 3 in the 3rd. Did it the day before that, 4 in the 2nd. The only time that they haven't done that on this homestand was the first 2 games. They scored 3 in 1 inning, 1 in the other, and then they had that big 3 and 7 in the 1st and 2nd innings, 10 runs against the A's.
Obviously, August is a tough month for all the major leaguers. Getting into the final stages of the schedule, everybody wears down a little bit. And the averages for the Blue Jays would reflect that. There's some guys going through a tough stretch right now.
Just put together some at-bats. Like, think this one through. You're at the bottom of the lineup. You got to figure he's going to throw him a fastball here. So be ready for it.
Breaking ball ripped into center. Left that breaking ball out over the plate, and Goins turned it around. Martin goes to second.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the 2015 Honda Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful afternoon, Sunday afternoon. The Blue Jays wrapping up this homestand. 28 degrees today, and it's a hot, muggy day. Beltran's air has been changed to a double for Tulowitzki. That was in the 3rd inning. And that's the right call. There's a drive to center. Ellsbury coming in quickly. Russell Martin off the bag, and he's going to be doubled up. Martin read as if that ball was going to drop. Ellsbury comes in quickly and makes the catch and doubles off Russell Martin at second. The Yankees just kind of milling around still on the field, but Ellsbury made a nice play and quickly threw to second to force double up Russell Martin. Martin got hung up trying to get a big lead, and then he's doubled off. That ends the inning. Another base running mistake for the Blue Jays. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.
The great thing about the TD Comfort Zone is not only do you have those big comfy green chairs, but you're in the shade. It is a perfect day, and they are guests of TD sitting in those comfy chairs today. Meanwhile, we have a look at the Jays Care Community Clubhouse and some very special folks today from the Children's Wish Foundation, another fantastic organization. Buck?
Great opportunity for fans to enjoy the Jays Care Community Clubhouse. We want to welcome to the ballpark and another sellout crowd here, the 11th sellout crowd of the season. It is bobblehead day. It's turned back to dial day. The Blue Jays are wearing those white panel caps that the team wore in 1985. There's that bobblehead. Bell, Mosby, and Barfield, and they did a nice job.
It's been a heck of a weekend, hasn't it? I tell you, I would like to see them on Sundays wear that hat.
Yeah, it's a cool
every
hat.
home, because it. I like the look from right here. You see the blue jerseys and the white hats and the white pants. It looks good.
Yeah, it really fits well with that blue jersey. It's Brian McCann. He takes a strike. McCann flying out to center in his only at bat. He gets jammed and fights it off out of play.
That's a good sign right there. Drew Hutchison is beating those left-handed batters with the fastball in the inner half. They're not picking that ball up, and what that does is it makes that slider a weapon that he can use for strikeouts now if you're thinking about fastball in.
That one was in too far. McCann trying to regroup. The trainer, it might have hit him right on the instep with that back foot. You hear pitchers talk about trying to throw that breaking ball to the back foot, and the ball was down and in, and it hit McCann. So he'll make his way down to first, trying to walk it off a bit.
Well, you expect them. That's where you do want to throw it. You want to sweep that ball underneath it, but you want them to move their foot. He doesn't move his foot, and he gets it right on the toe. Doesn't get out of the way, right on the shoe, and I'll tell you, he felt that one.
Yeah, he sure did, and you know what? There's not much protection there at all, and of course that part of your foot very vulnerable, and you can bet he's going to feel the effects of that. But that's not how Hutchison wanted to start the fifth, hitting the leadoff man.
On an 0-2 pitch, too.
Here is the dangerous Carlos Beltran. When you think about Beltran, you say, well, you know, he was a pretty good player. Well, he was much better than that. He was Rookie of the Year in '99 for the Royals. He's an 8-time All-Star. Ground ball. Smoke gets it, goes to second for one, and return throw in time. 3-5-3 on the double play as Donaldson took the throw from Smoke and turned it around.
You know, when you are in the shift like that, there's got to be a lot of communication between the infielders on how they are going to turn the double play. Josh Donaldson's going to be the guy here to make the return throw. Smoke goes back. Here comes the throw. And watch Smoke. His foot, as Drew Hutchison enjoys that, his footwork got messed up a little bit where he had his right foot on the bag instead of the left, so he couldn't stretch for the ball, but still a good return throw by Donaldson finishes it off. I was watching Donaldson on that saying, okay, if I get a ground ball, who am I going to throw it to try and turn the double play? And it was going to be Tulowitzki in the middle of the diamond. But you have to have that communication between the infielders.
And there's a constant adjustment, too, as the Blue Jays will shift from pitch to pitch. They'll change their positioning, and Donaldson said he has to continually check on the positioning of Goins and Tulowitzki. Chase Headley takes one inside. Boy, that double play was sweet for Hutchison after he lost McCann on an 0-2 pitch. He hit the catcher with a slider. And then comes back and gets the double play.
Facing a hot hitter, tough hitter. Missed another one right here. Chase Headley, as you see Beltran sit down. Chase Headley's had 28 multi-hit games this year. That's second most on this team behind Gardner's 32. His hit on Friday night, I thought, was the big hit against David Price, the double to left center field.
Bouncing ball outside of first. You're right. That was a ground rule double that for the time being cost Headley an RBI. McCann had to stop at third, but that set the table for the Beltran home run. Goins out in right field. Goes to Smoke. Clean inning for Drew Hutchison. Shut out the Yankees on 1 hit through 5 innings. Big game for the Blue Jays.
Live or on demand in True HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. It also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Buck, we were really hoping to get George Bell on today, but he has somehow gone AWOL. Does that make sense to you as a former teammate of him that he just cannot be found right now?
Well, he's around somewhere enjoying this great game. He's not going to miss any of the action. And I tell you what, it was great to see all those guys. And, you know, George was a terrific player. And a lot of people don't realize what a great hitter he was. He was one of the best hitters the Blue Jays have ever had. There he is. He's with Beast and Cito and Howie Starkman.
And the food.
And the food. George is eating again. But yeah, it was a great celebration. And Paul Beeston was there. Howard Starkman, who was the longtime PR director for the Blue Jays. And of course, Cito Gaston. He was our hitting coach in '85. Ben Revere takes a strike. Revere called out on a very suspect strike 3 back in the 3rd. Stephen Drew dives to his right. Revere is out, 1 down. Now the Blue Jays at the start of this series had a game lead over the Yankees. The Yankees won the first 2, so this is a real important game for the Blue Jays. You don't want to fall to 2.5 back. You win this game and everything is pretty good. You're still a half game behind the Yankees.
You know, even though it's just 1 game, it's really 2 games in the standing for me. You lose it, you're 2.5 games back. You win it, you're just a half a game back against the Yankees. We were talking this morning a little bit about the Yankee schedule the rest of the way, and it's very favorable for New York.
The Yankees will go home and play the first of 2 10-game homestands this year. And they have a very good schedule. They don't go out west at all. In fact, they stay in the Eastern time zone for the rest of the season. Blue Jays have a trip out to Anaheim on their upcoming road trip. How about this trip? Philadelphia, Anaheim, Texas. It's an odd trip this late in the season.
And thankfully, I think for the Blue Jays, they've got some off days sprinkled into that trip that they could rest up, because that's a grinder right there.
Tulowitzki caught looking at strike 3, fastball down and away.
Well, Severino has been impressive. We knew that he could throw a lot of pitches, and he's got a great arm, but he's in the strike zone. Wild in the strike zone, if you will. He's got good movement. That time he paints the corner, he'll pick up his 6th strikeout. Second time that he's gotten to Tulowitzki.
Josh Donaldson got things started for the Blue Jays. He had an RBI base hit to right his last time up, part of a 3-run 3rd inning for the Blue Jays. Two and 0. Bautista is on deck. Jose hit his 28th home run in that 3rd inning. A 2-run shot. Donaldson looking fastball that was just a bit upstairs.
We've seen him hit those high fastballs like that this year. We've seen him pull a couple of home runs. We've actually seen him hit the ball to right field on those high fastballs.
Another fastball, 97 miles an hour from Severino. 21 years old. Severino had a terrific minor league career. He was 23-11 through his minor league time. Opponents hit .212 against Severino in the minors.
Guy with that kind of arm who can control the strike zone. You can see why those numbers are so good, and why the Yankees were so high on him.
Now, there's a lot of speculation the Yankees were going to make a big push for Cole Hamels of the Phillies, but they kept asking for Severino and Aaron Judge, big outfielder, and the Yankees balked at that. Full count. Way outside, not close. That's 3 walks now for Severino, go along with those 6 strikeouts. Another good cut. It's the same pattern that lasted that had. High fastball, foul back, hanging, breaking ball, home run.
Two-run home run. Let's see if they change on Bautista a little bit. Maybe show him a fastball on the inner half now. We haven't seen that from the Yankees today. They stayed away from Jose when they were in Yankee Stadium. Stayed away from his power.
Jose has hit 25 or more home runs in 6 consecutive seasons. He has 28 home runs for the season now. 21 of those home runs have come since June 1st. You can see the difference in his swing now. Remember, he hurt his shoulder in April, his right shoulder, and that robbed him of some of that extension.
Yeah, we saw that early on. Right after he hurt it, he just couldn't get through the baseball. He wasn't driving the ball, but you're right. Since June the 1st, he's been healthy and he's been hitting bombs.
0-2 to Bautista. Severino lost that fastball up and in. Joe Girardi and his coaching staff keeping a close eye on Severino. This is just his 3rd major league start. He debuted against the Boston Red Sox and had an impressive start to his career. Way outside. He really has overthrown some pitches in this inning.
Trying to finish it off right there, just trying to overthrow it, and then he's out of the strike zone. He comes out of his delivery. Now Josh Donaldson with the count 3-2 will get a nice little running start at first base.
Severino, the youngest pitcher to make a start in the majors this season. There goes Donaldson. Bautista's called out. 7 strikeouts now for Severino. We'll go to the 6th. The Blue Jays lead it 3-0. And here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew. Brought to you by Home Hardware.
Dave, Stieb, the only pitcher to throw up no-hitter in Blue Jays franchise history. First of all, Dave, what kind of memories spark back in your brain when you come here, you get rejoined by some of your former teammates, even driving down Toronto? I know a lot has changed in the city, but I imagine there's got to be a lot of great memories.
Yeah, there's tons. Too many to recall, but it's always great to come back here. A lot of great memories in this ballpark and even the old ballpark. And it's great to see the old teammates that I haven't seen in a long time. I mean, those guys are the reason I had the success that I did.
We always hear about pitchers and the relationship they had with catchers, and whether it be a guy like Ernie Whitt or Buck Martinez. How important was that to you to be on the same wavelength as the guy catching your game?
Well, it's very important, and the nice thing about that is, you know, I had those guys for many years, and they knew me, I knew them, and it makes it a lot easier when you have a guy back there that knows your stuff and has confidence in you.
Lloyd Moseby was saying at the dinner last night that in the days that you guys played, if someone hit a home run and celebrated it with a bat flip or those dances or handshakes, they'd probably be getting a Dave Stieb slider in the shin next at bat. Is this the case?
It would be a fastball.
There's a point where the game has changed a lot, though, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and it's unfortunate, but, you know, what can you do? The game's changing in every aspect.
Well, there you go. There's Dave Stieb. Buck, I do not want to pick a home run and have the fastball coming at me.
Oh, he was one of the best. I think he was the best pitcher that ever wore a Blue Jays jersey, and Dave had 176 wins in his career. 9 times in his career, Steve threw 200 or more innings. And he was a terrific competitor. And we had a great visit last night. And, you know, Dave was never drafted out of high school. He was an outfielder and a very good position player. And then he went to San Jose City College, a 2-year community college, and didn't get drafted there. He went to Southern Illinois and actually was a punter on a football team and an outfielder / pitcher. So Saluki. Yeah, he was a tremendous competitor. And, you know, he had 5 all-star selections in his first 7 years. He was truly the best player in the whole organization.
First superstar, I think, that the Blue Jays ever had. And all due respect to Roy Halladay, he did some great things here, but he was the first, Dave. And when you talked about the Blue Jays in the late 70s, early 80s, it was Dave Stieb who was the star. He was the toast of the town. I faced him. He and Jesse Barfield were on the same team in 1978 in Dunedin. I was in Fort Lauderdale, faced him, and it's like, wow. He was a pretty good center fielder, and I hope he's listening right now. He couldn't hit. But I'll tell you what.
He could run.
He could run.
Yeah.
I hated facing him when he was a pitcher. I couldn't hit him.
David Drew goes around on that Hutchison changeup, 2 down, and we go back to 1985. Remember, this team won 99 games. They won the AL East by 2 games. Steve, he was the ace. Alexander had a terrific season, 17 of 10. Jimmy Key was in his first year as a full-time starter. He worked out of the bullpen in '84. Then Jim Clancy was a horse. And Louis Leal, he was just establishing himself. He had a great changeup, much like Marco Estrada's changeup.
And a pretty good fastball that would run in on your hands. Clancy was nasty to face as a right-handed hitter. The only guy I wanted to face out there was Jimmy Key. He was a left-hander. You know, and then you turned it over to the bullpen. And your bullpen was pretty deep.
Yeah, it was deep. We had Dennis Lamp, who was the middle guy, Jim Acker, who threw sinkers and threw very well, Bill Caudle and Gary Lavelle. There's a drive, and this one's going to leave the ballpark. Jacoby Ellsbury hits a 2-out home run here in the 6th. For Ellsbury, that's home run number 6, and the Yankees are on the board.
Jacoby hit 32 home runs in 2011 when he was with the Boston Red Sox. Since 2011, that's his 35th home run. Right there. 6th on the season, and he got a fastball out over the plate from Drew Hutchison, and he didn't miss it. Singled his first time up, struck out his second time up, and then gets this pitch. Wanted this ball down and away, and it's right over the middle of the plate, and Ellsbury didn't miss it.
Ellsbury's had 5 hits in the series. He's starting to heat up a bit. A 2-out home run. Brett Gardner takes a breaking ball for ball 1. Hutchison comes right back and throws a strike.
Blue Jays, Drew Hutchison given up 2 hits, but after that home run, Brett Cecil is now up and getting loose very quickly, as you can see. This is a big game for the Blue Jays, and John Gibbons doesn't want this one to get out of reach.
He certainly wants to keep a lid on the Yankees offense. Hutchison, we mentioned what a good run he's had here at home. That's just the 5th home run he's allowed. This is his 13th start at Rogers Center. 1-2 to Gardner. Fly ball to center. Pilar hustling back at the warning track and makes the catch. Drew Hutchison kept Gardner a big part of the diamond. The Yankees get on the board, but we'll head to the bottom of the 6th, and the Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead.
And we're joined now by Tony Fernandez, fantastic shortstop for the Jays. Tony, you've talked to a lot of people. I imagine they've brought back a lot of things that you may have even forgotten because it was so long ago, huh?
Yes, it has been such a long time. What I won't forget is that catch, the last out that George Bell made, in that year. Actually, I just want to make sure that he didn't drop the ball. So that's why. That's why I went out there so far to help him out, but it was a great feeling.
You know, it's funny because you guys joke a lot with George Bell, but he really was a terrific teammate, wasn't he?
He was a great teammate and a great athlete. I mean, people didn't realize this, but George has one of the best arms, and he could outrun many of those guys at that level, at the major league level at that time. Now, I remember one time, they had a race at the All-Star game in Dominican Republic in the Winter League season, and he outran Juan Samuel. And Juan Samuel is one of the fastest guys in the Major League.
He couldn't outrun you, though, could he?
He probably could have at the beginning of his career. And he had, like I said, he was a great athlete before he hurt his knee. And unfortunately, I don't think the people here in Toronto got to see that part of him as I did growing up.
Well, listen, Tony, thanks so much for your time. A lot of great memories this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, Buck, back to you.
Thank you very much, Barry. And Tony Fernandez, of course, a 4-time Gold Glover for the Blue Jays, a Anchorage shortstop and part of a terrific defensive ball club. Tony Fernandez and Damaso Garcia played up the middle. Dama was a terrific defender, great range, and a very good hitter.
So I said you couldn't get the ball by the infield. You couldn't get it into the outfield. And then the pitching staff, it was a brutal team to try and get hits off of.
And it all came down to the final weekend of the season. The Yankees were right on the heels of us, and we won that game on Saturday on a blustery afternoon in Exhibition Stadium. Doyle Alexander pitched against the Yankees. He just pitched them up and away. They hit fly balls to left field all day long. And then Ron Hasse hit that ball to George Bell to clinch the first division title. Justin Smoke has really been swinging the bat well lately, and he hasn't had the hits he deserves. He was robbed of a hit in the 4th inning. He had a hot shot liner. It looked like it was headed to the left, but Chase Utley dove and made a nice catch.
The baseball gods have not been very good to Justin Smoak right now, so he is due a couple. Headley, the third baseman, made an outstanding play on that line drive.
And he has hit against the shift too, and that has cost him as well. Gets a piece of that one.
Severino's getting stronger as this game is going on, but he is nearing that 100 pitch limit. So the Yankees have their bullpen going.
Left-hander Jason Shreve is loosening up. Yankees have 3 lefties in their bullpen. And that's a real added benefit to the makeup of your bullpen. Andrew Miller, of course, is the closer. Shreve and Wilson. Wilson has a big arm as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Justin Smoak. Fights it off. Once again, we talk about the Blue Jays, and they have scored all their runs again in the 3rd inning. They haven't been able to come back against Severino and mount any other attacks after that 3rd inning, and all started with 2 outs.
Two outs and a ball that was lost in the sun. It should have been a 1-2-3 inning, but the ball fell in. The Blue Jays capitalized on that. Now they're trying to make it stand up. They've had their chances today. They've had runners on. 2 more in the 4th, and a runner got doubled off. They had a walk last inning. Just trying to scratch out a run here.
Well, Jose Bautista got picked off at second base in the 1st inning after he advanced on a balk. And then Russell Martin got doubled off on a Kevin Pillar liner to center. A little Texas League blooper that Ellsbury caught and then doubled off Martin at second. So they've had a couple base runners in scoring position that have been erased. Smoak called out on the strikes, the inside strike. That's 9 strikeouts for Severino.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays catcher Russell Martin takes first pitch outside. These 2 3-game series, the first in New York, the second here at Rogers Center this weekend. Boy, if it doesn't reflect the importance of starting pitching, you're not paying attention. These are 2 of the best offenses in all of baseball, and they've been shut down
by both teams. And if you think both of these teams starting pitching is a weak link, you're crazy. They have pitched so well against each other.
David Price left the mound in position to win his 3rd start with the Blue Jays. Bullpen coughed up that lead. Price went 7 1/3, and it wasn't easy. He was charged with 3 runs, and 2 of those runs scored after he left the ballgame, but he gave up 11 hits.
Yeah, he was battling, and he battled all the way to the 8th inning. Well, unfortunately, the bullpen couldn't hold it.
Wagner down at first, confirming the no swing by Martin. That'll reach the seats out of play. The Blue Jays will have tomorrow off. They'll go down to Philadelphia and resume action on Tuesday night. Dickey is scheduled to open up against Philadelphia. Then Mark Burley in Game 2. It's a short 2-game series. Then they'll have Thursday off in Anaheim. David Price will open up against the Angels on Friday night. Then Marco Estrada on Saturday night, and that's the next start that is supposedly in question with the way Drew Hutchison has pitched tonight. I don't think there's any reason to make any adjustments.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason, the way that we have seen Drew this afternoon, to skip anybody or move anybody up.
Full count.
He's pitched well against the Yankees.
Little tapper back to the mound. Severino throws to first. The inning is over. 3 up, 3 down. The Blue Jays go quietly in their half of the 6th, but move to the 7th. 3-1 Jays. Blue Jays baseball partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Another tight ball game between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. The Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead as the Yankees are set to bat in the top of the 7th. 1985 has been celebrated here this afternoon. 30 years ago, the Blue Jays won their first division title. And then they had a heartbreaking loss to Kansas City in Game 7 of the ALCS. It was the first year the league changed the championship series format from 5 games to 7 games. And the Blue Jays had a 3-1 lead at one point in that series and would have advanced to the World Series.
And came home, right, for the last 2 ball games. Just couldn't do it.
Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, and Brian McCann for New York. Hutchison has been good. 2 hits. Just the 1 run, a solo home run by Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury has both hits.
His fastball command has been good. His breaking ball has been good, and I think that changeup has been a really good 3rd pitch this afternoon.
Hutchison had a stretch of 10 straight retired from the 1st inning to the 4th inning with 2 outs. He walked Rodriguez with 2 outs in the 4th, but stranded him after he got Teixeira to pop out.
Russell Martin sets that glove up on the outside part of the plate, and so far this afternoon, Drew Hutchison has hit it consistently.
And he hasn't missed upstairs. We saw a lot of arm side misses upstairs with the fastball. He has buried it very consistently all afternoon. They've made some subtle adjustments with Hutchison and his alignment on the rubber, and it seems to be doing the trick.
He's a little bit more on line. He's not too much of a crossfire like we saw when he first came up.
3 called, and Rodriguez knew it. Hutchison finds the outside corner. Another good fastball down and away.
Fastball command is very important. And this time he commands that ball right on the outside corner. You saw Russell Martin didn't even move his glove. Threw it right to the glove and picked up the first down.
We always talk about timing in relationship to hitting, but pitching is a timing issue as well. There's a drive to center field. No problem for Kevin Pillar in the shadows. He makes the catch, 2 down.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
CN Tower standing tall next to Rogers Center. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon. And Drew Hutchison is doing his thing. He's held the Yankees to 1 run on 2 hits. Brian McCann was hit his last time up. Blue Jays have lost 2 in a row. The Yankees have won 3 straight.
Wow. Pretty good pitch right there. That's where you want to throw that fastball. You want to keep it down. You can see it on pitch trackers. Right down.
Boy, that was a great illustration of Russell Martin holding that target there. You know, pitchers need something to focus in on, and Martin presents this glove. Watch the glove. It's basically a bullseye in the center of Russell's body.
And it looked like Hutch took just a little extra long just to let him set up and just focus where he wanted to throw that ball.
Oftentimes catchers will get lazy with that glove and it just presents a very random target. It's in the air, little looper. Bautista running hard, and the bounce by Pillar bounces past Pillar as he dove for it, and McCann will end up at second with a 2-out double. That ball was just hit into no man's land, and Pillar made a dive, and Bautista was right there to back him up.
Right off the end of the bat. It's a changeup. He hits it off the end of the bat. Pillar sees it, but it just doesn't hang up long enough for him. Tries to knock that ball down. It's backed up by Bautista, and that's going to take Drew Hutchison out of this ball game. But what an afternoon for him. He brought his A game today against the Yankees.
Allows 3 hits through 6 2/3. He leaves with the lead. Turns things over to the bullpen. the biggest start of his season. With the Blue Jays losing the first 2 games of this series to New York, he came out firing strikes using all of his pitches.
He had to come up big, and he certainly did this afternoon, pitching into the 7th inning. He was spot on with that fastball. He was using the changeup effectively. His breaking ball had a lot of snap and bite to it. And that's what the Blue Jays needed, the starter to go deep into this ball game, matching and out pitching Luis Severino.
Hutchison threw 90 pitches, walked 1, and struck out 5. Brett Cecil into the game, and Carlos Beltran, a switch hitter, will turn around and bat right-handed. Look out, Joe Espada. I don't know how he got out of the way of that one. The third base coach was very close to home plate, and that's why those coaches wear the helmets. And I don't know how he got out of the way of it.
I don't know how he saw the ball. He's angling himself down the third base line as this ball is hooked. You can see him out of the picture there. He is angling himself to get a read on the ball off the bat for that runner at second base, and he must have seen it out of the corner of his eye. Ducked just in time.
0-2 on the ground, foul. Brett Cecil into the ball game to turn Beltran around. You see his numbers against right-handed hitters. That's why you make the move with the switch hitting Beltran.
Hitting .208, and Beltran's just 1 for 8 in his career versus Cecil. He's a much better hitter versus right-handed pitching. You know, sometimes those third base coaches, you can see they're probably about 70 feet from home plate, and they've got to have their back semi-turned to the hitter because they have got to help out that runner at second base, and got to keep one eye on that hitter, one on the runner.
1-2, 2 outs. Fly ball into shallow center. Pilar says, I got it, and he does. Cecil comes in to put out the fire here in the 7th. He gets Beltran to fly out to center. The Blue Jays will have Goins, Pilar, and Revere when we come back.
Every Blue Jays game on TV and radio. For daily coverage, headlines, analysis, and schedules, visit sportsnet.ca/Blue Jays or join the conversation at Sportsnet. We have a great field of writers on sportsnet.ca. Shai Davidi, Ardwin Zelling, and of course Ben Nicholson-Smith. You cannot go wrong reading articles on sportsnet.ca about the Blue Jays. But
absolutely, there's a lot going on, and you got to keep up to date with everything. And you can do that on sportsnet.ca. This is a new pitcher for the Yankees, Chasen Shreve, the left-hander.
Check out those numbers for the left-hander out of the bullpen in 41 games. He's 6-1 with a 197 earned run average. His whip is under 1. He's averaging a strikeout an inning. He does it with a funky delivery. Low arm angle is very deceptive, and he'll get a lot of called third strikes. Got some pretty good life on that bet on those pitches. His best pitch, I think, is his slider.
They'll face the left-hander, second baseman Ryan Goins. It'll be Goins, Pilar, and Revere, 2 lefties in the first 3 spots for Shreve. He delivers a first pitch strike. Goins singled his last time up. He's also lined out to the second baseman. Ooh, late call. Looked like a home plate umpire. Paul Emmel had second thoughts about it. Goins just asking him, "That's a good pitch, you sure?"
Couple of tough pitches right there for Goins from the left-hander, trying to lay off of those.
Now the breaking ball, it's 2-2. Blue Jays continue to fail to mount any attacks. They scored 3 runs in the third and just can't get anything going. It's been their pattern recently.
You know what would help? Is that first guy get on in the inning. The Blue Jays haven't had that all afternoon.
It's a deep drive down the left side, but it's going to slice out the play. Yeah, that first batter reaching is huge, and when you think about it, Blue Jays, that's been a concern for them. They haven't had anybody really on base consistently to start innings, and that's been a real strength of theirs all year.
Yeah, the on base percentage. When you get that first guy on, then you can do a few things if you want. You can steal, you can hit and run, you can bunt them over if you want to. There's just so many different things that you can do. But you got to get them on.
Another foul out of play. Jose Bautista, we saw him in the inning when they were making the pitching change out of the outfield, trying to stretch and stay loose, and that's what he's trying to do right now. It's a hot, muggy day. There's actually a heat advisory in the Toronto metropolitan area, 28 degrees at the start of play this afternoon.
Jose had all those yoga instructors out there for his golf tournament this week on Monday, showing us how to stretch. It looks like Jose took some notes.
Yeah, it's a form of yoga they call joga for athletes, and Bautista looks like he's putting it to good use. Full count to Ryan Goins. Ball 4. A leader off walk. Another good crowd on hand at Rogers Center, 46,792, and that's significant. It's the 10th sellout, but it's also the 5th straight crowd of 40,000 or more here at Rogers Center. That's the first time that has happened since July 27th through August 5th of 1995. Wow. If you build it, they will come.
Yes, they will, and they have been coming. One more crowd like that, and the Blue Jays will go over 2 million this year. They're at about 195 now and change.
Kevin Pilar with Goins at first. You mentioned the Blue Jays this season getting their runners on to start innings. They're 3rd in the American League in on-base percentage to start an inning, .321. So that's been consistent and helps their offense a lot.
Boy, it just puts the pressure on that pitcher. He has to get into that stretch position, and now he's got to make pitches.
Base hit through the left side. Goins will go to second. 2 on, nobody out.
The 2015 Honda Civic is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
You know, this is an obvious bunt situation right here, and Chase Headley, the third baseman for the New York Yankees, has already given the sign to the infield what defense they're going to run. Wouldn't surprise me if they put the wheel play on trying to get that lead runner at third base. You can see Headley, he is creeping in, keeping his eye on that batter and the runner.
The Jays have a 3-1 lead. Rivera squares to bunt and takes a ball. What are the assignments on that wheel play?
Well, if the wheel play is on, the pitcher's got to make sure that that shortstop has a little daylight. He gets a running start from that runner at second base. He goes to third. Third and first crash, and the pitcher comes straight in. It makes it very difficult to try and find a hole to bunt. It almost has to be perfect. That first one, it looks like the Yankees were running the regular play.
Running back to the pitcher. They got a shot at third, and they get the force out. Shreve makes a good play. He got some assist from his catcher, McCann, who was hollering third all the way.
He just could not get the pitcher to move. He bunted it right back to the mound. If he could have gotten that pitcher to take one step here or one step there, this would have been a sacrifice bunt. But you can see it comes right in and throws a strike over to third base to get the runner. He takes one step after that ball instead of right back at him. It's going to be a sacrifice bunt. But it goes as a fielder's choice, and Jason Shreve's afternoon is finished.
Shreve made a nice play after giving up the walk and the base hit. He gets the lead runner at third. It keeps the double play in order. It'll be the right-hander Adam Warren coming in to face Troy Tulowitzki. Blue Jays trying to add to their 3-1 lead.
Live Tracker. Get play-by-play updates, batter hit zone charts, and real-time win percentage. You can get it by clicking any game matchup on sportsnet.ca/live tracker. It's also available through the brand new Sportsnet app. A great way to follow your favorite game. Fuck, another way baseball has changed since 1985.
Absolutely, Barry. New pitcher into the game is Adam Warren. He's a power pitcher making his 30th appearance.
15th relief appearance of the season last time out. 29 appearances overall. He makes some starts for the Yankees. 6-5 record. He also has a save in one of those 15 relief appearances. Got a good fastball and a good breaking ball.
Troy Tulowitzki 1 for 3. Goes after that first pitch and foul tips it into the catcher's mitt. Tulowitzki just 3 hits in 23 at-bats against the Yankees this season.
He needs a big one right here for the Blue Jays.
Since Tulowitzki has joined the ball club, when he starts at shortstop, the Blue Jays are 13-2. He certainly would love to come up with a big hit right here. Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead.
That's pitching right there. He was thinking that Tulowitzki might have been hanging out over that plate looking for that breaking ball, so he's going to straighten him up with that fastball. He's pushing back off the plate.
1-2 now, 1 out. Pilar's at second, Revere's at first. Tulowitzki strikes out Warren with a big strikeout, 2 down.
Third strikeout of the afternoon for Troy Tulowitzki. That looked like a 90-mile-an-hour cutter. That certainly is, and it spins on the inner half, and Tulo comes up empty.
Well, Josh Donaldson, he's got an RBI this afternoon, had an RBI single, drove in the first run of the game in the third.
This is what makes the Yankees so tough, is that bullpen can come in and strike you out. They lead the major leagues in strikeouts. It's not all Dylan Betances and Andrew Miller. There's some other guys down there with some pretty good arms.
Yeah, their bullpen is really good. The Blue Jays have matched them recently in many categories as far as strikeouts per inning, strikeouts to walk ratio. Ball on a strike to Donaldson. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Aaron Sanchez has been the 8th inning pitcher for the Blue Jays. He appears to be ready. Brett Cecil came on to retire Carlos Beltran to end the 7th. Only man he faced. 2-1 to Donaldson. Boy, what a good take. So anxious to drive in this run, but he never chases those borderline pitches.
He's not going to deviate from his game plan. Look for that ball out in front of home plate. See if you can do some damage with it right here. The outfield is playing him the other way, like he's going to try and shoot a ball to right field.
Ground ball, Headley gobbles it up, throws across the diamond. The Blue Jays leave a pair of base runners in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th. Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead. Here comes Aaron Sanchez out of the Jays bullpen.
is Canada's best-selling car for 17 years in a row and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
We move to the top of the 8th inning. Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead. The Yankees have 1 run on 3 hits. Blue Jays 3 runs on 6 hits. And Aaron Sanchez to start the 8th inning. This will be his 23rd game of the season.
Good numbers all the way around for Aaron Sanchez. He wants to erase the memory of that appearance a couple of days ago. He picked up that 5th loss of the season in 2/3 of an inning. He had a couple of hits and an earned run. That was the Carlos Beltran home run. He's starting this inning, though, and he'll face the bottom of the order of the New York Yankees.
Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, and Stephen Drew for New York. Headley has grounded out twice. Tulowitzki, first base side of the bag, throws him out. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Shelby Miller is winless in 15 straight starts. He's had an ERA of 3.16 over that time, but they have scored just 2.54 runs per start. And he is trying to say, you know what, fellas, I'll do it on my own. I'm going to throw a no-hitter.
Get me one. That's all I'm going to need today. Yeah, it's been a long time since he's won a ball game.
Didi Gregorius takes it upstairs for a ball. It's 1-1 on the Yankees shortstop. Gregorius has grounded out twice today. Drew Hutchison with a terrific outing. 6 2/3, a single run on just 3 hits. That extends the Blue Jays franchise record streak to 20 straight games by a starter, allowing 3 earned runs or less. That's how you win championships.
That's how you win. That's how you go on those winning streaks when you get that good starting pitching.
Curveball, got it.
Aaron Sanchez has got a great fastball, and everybody knows it, but he also has a wipeout breaking ball. He's going to show it off right here to Didi Gregorius to pick up the strikeout, get on top of it, and just spin that ball. Look at the depth on that curveball.
He's able to throw that curveball because he started earlier in the season. Last year when he came up and worked out of the pen, he didn't have the experience throwing that curveball because he was always out of the pen. Now he's got the confidence to throw it. Does it again. This time he bounces it.
Got to be careful with Stephen Drew here. He's got 15 home runs. It's the second most home runs by an American League second baseman. We saw Brian Dozier earlier this month. He's got 25. Drew, he's got 15.
Well, here's the guy you want. You want to end this inning with the number 9 hitter. You don't want to turn it over. Ellsbury is 2 for 3 with a homer and a single. Looked like a good pitch. Russell Martin's a bit frustrated with the strike zone right now.
Got to stay with it. That's got a lot of movement on it, that fastball. It looks like it caught the plate.
Full count. Blue Jay fans have turned out all weekend long. They want to see a W. Bouncing ball. Goins has to come in and takes the short hop. There's the first to end the inning. Sanchez has a clean 8th inning. 3 up, 3 down. The Blue Jays will bat in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 ahead. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Song. Years in a row, and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Jose Bautista is going to take this high breaking ball from Luis Severino and send it out of here. He has made a habit of this against New York Yankees. This is his 29th career home run against New York, his 28th home run of the season. That was back in the third inning, and it's the drive of the game this afternoon.
Big hit in this game, the difference of the ball game provided by Jose Bautista. He is 1 for 2 with a walk, homered and struck out. Check swing, tapper, foul. Adam Warren came into the game in relief of Chasen Shreve. He was able to get a strikeout and a ground out to strand a pair of base runners.
Tell you, there is no easy rest stops on these Yankee pitchers. They come in, it is tough. You got to bear down against every one of them.
Does a nice job of cutting that ball just off the end of the bat. Adam Warren has got good stuff.
Took a little something off of that one. Registered 86 miles an hour. That followed a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Pretty impressive.
The Yankees will return to New York and start a 10-game homestand. The Blue Jays will have Monday off and then resume action Tuesday night in Philadelphia. 2 games against the Phillies. Bounced in the dirt.
We've been talking about how similar these teams are in the rankings. Just out of the bullpen. Yankees relief ERA 3.21, they're 5th. Blue Jays 3.22, they're 6th.
Man, they are really close. Blue Jays have improved dramatically and closed the gap between the Yankees pen and themselves. Bautista lifts it high into shallow left. Brett Gardner comes in, the wind's blowing it around, and he makes the catch. One down, Roberto Osuna, the young closer for the Blue Jays, warming up.
The Yankees are 3rd in hits per 9 innings with 7. Blue Jays are 4th, 7.33 out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that wasn't the case early in the season. The Blue Jays were outmanned by the Yankees bullpen.
Something else that wasn't, like that earlier, the strikeout to walk ratio. The Yankees are third at 2.94. Guess who's first? Blue Jays. They're throwing a lot of strikes, averaging 3.65 strikeouts per walks. And that's important. You don't want to come in here and start walking guys. You want to start striking them out. The Blue Jays #1 in the American League.
Jason Shreve walked the first man he faced in the 7th. He was fortunate the Blue Jays couldn't get the sacrifice bunt down. Encarnacion takes strike 2. It's 1-2 to the Blue Jays DH. Edwin has struck out 3 times today. All of those strikeouts coming against Luis Severino, the rookie. Foul chip that banged off the catcher's glove. The Yankees, we mentioned their homestand, will start Monday. 3 games against Minnesota Twins. Then Cleveland comes to town for a 4-game series, and finally the Houston Astros. So it's not an easy homestand for the Yankees.
While they're at home, the Blue Jays are going to hit the road for that whole time.
Blue Jays will go 2 in Philadelphia, 3 in Anaheim against the Angels, and 3 in Arlington against the Texas Rangers. And the Blue Jays on the road are 6 games under 500 at 25-31. But if you're a legit contender, you got to win wherever you play. Especially this time, you don't have much time to make up ground.
Win late in the year. That's where you got to win, and that's what the Blue Jays have to do when they go out on the road now.
Pulled through the left side, and Encarnacion went up and hooked that ball through the hole at short. His first hit, and that extends his hit streak to 14 straight. That ties his career high.
Boy, he had to go up and out of the strike zone to somehow make contact and then pull the ball. Look at this ball. Up, away, the back comes rolling around, and he gets up between the shortstop and the third baseman with enough steam on it to get it into the outfield.
Justin Smoke, singled in his first at bat, was robbed of a base hit in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. He's been swinging the hot bat. He hasn't had much to show for it. He's been hitting the ball hard, but he's been hitting in tough luck.
Yeah, been robbed a couple of times. Looking for that ball on the inner half right here. See if you can get an extra base hit.
Two tough pitches. Borderline strikes. Yankees have done a good job of keeping the ball out of the middle this entire series.
And down. Tanaka didn't hardly give the Blue Jays anything to hit yesterday.
And Smoke strikes out. 2 down. Well, we'll show you the significance of this game for the Blue Jays. At the start of play today, the Blue Jays a game and a half behind the Yankees. That would push them back to a half game out, and it certainly looks a lot better than 2.5.
Which it could be, so they have to hold on and win this one. Get it to a half a game.
Catcher Russell Martin has reached base once this afternoon. He walked in the 4th. 1-2. Martin strikes out. What a good outing for Adam Warren. He pitches an inning and 2/3, records 3 strikeouts. We'll go to the 9th. The Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead. 20-year-old Roberto Osuna will make his 6th appearance against the Yankees, looking for his 13th save. Championship team. Tom Henke was the closer on that team. He joined the team mid-July, and they thought we would compare Henke from '85 to Osuna in his rookie season here in 2015.
Pretty similar, isn't it? Right there, Tom Henke in 1985 had a whip under 1. So does Roberto Osuna. The average is just about the same. Osuna just a little bit better, and the strikeouts per 9 innings just about the same. So maybe the Blue Jays have something here. The next Terminator, maybe Terminator 2, takes the mound for the Jays.
Well, he's certainly off to a great start. He pitches with an awful lot of confidence for a young man. We mentioned Osuna is making his 6th appearance against the Yankees. He's pitched a total of 6 1/3. He's allowed New York just 2 hits, has walked 2 and struck out 5.
Did Henke say he had 13 saves?
Yes.
He's looking for his 13th right here, isn't he?
Pretty appropriate on this celebration of that '85 team. Henke had 13 saves for the season once he joined the Blue Jays. Foul. It's 0-2. This is the one thing that Osuna has done consistently from day one. He's thrown strikes.
Quality strikes with his fastball and his changeup. And talked to some of the Blue Jay people about Osuna, and I asked him about his slider. I said, hey, his slider's coming along now too. You start adding that 3rd pitch in as a reliever, and it's a power breaking ball, strikeout type of breaking ball. Now you just make things just a little bit more difficult on the opposition.
Upstairs, that's where Martin wanted it, and Ellsbury got a piece of it to stay alive. Ellsbury's had a good series. He's homered and singled today. He is 2 for 3. He had 2 hits yesterday afternoon and had a single in 5 at-bats on Friday. 2-2 to the leadoff batter here in the ninth. Osuna has retired 77% of the leadoff men he's faced. Ground ball, changeup. Goins throws out Ellsbury. One down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Shelby Miller making that bid for a no-hitter for Sasashi Iwakuma, who the last no-hitter for the Mariners this week. Brett Gardner, he's 0 for 3. Best pitch in baseball.
Strike one. Right there, you know the Yankee batters are going to try and make Osuna work. They're going to try and work their way to get on any way they can. Then the tying run comes to the plate. Gardner takes a strike.
Mentioned Osuna making his 6th appearance against the Yankees this season. He has not faced Brett Gardner. Little looper. This is trouble. It's going to drop for a base hit. Brett Gardner is aboard with a one-out bloop single, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate.
You know, he just has a knack on those high fastballs just to fight them off. He doesn't have the strength to get those balls to the outfielders, but he's strong enough to get it past the infielders. So the tying run will come to the plate for the Yankees.
You can hear the crowd stirring as Alex Rodriguez steps into the batter's box. Rodriguez is 0 for 2 with a walk. He's struck out twice. First pitch, slider. Osuna's got a new toy. Osuna faced Rodriguez for his first major league at bat and struck him out. Rodriguez wants to check that baseball.
Outfield is deep. With Rodriguez, the tying run, you see Josh Donaldson. He is on the line at third base. Infield is playing back. They're just looking for anything on the ground. See if they can end this ball game. Something extra right here. It's a fastball, but he reaches back for a little something more and puts it in a good spot. Down and away. Alex Rodriguez strikes out for the 3rd time. Now he's got to deal with Teixeira.
98 upstairs. Ground ball. Tulowitzki. Ball game. Cecil Sanchez Osuna out of the bullpen to save it for Drew Hutchison. Hutchison's 12th win of the season. The big swing of the bat by Jose Bautista. A 2-run home run in the third. His 28th, the difference in this ball game.
You know, that's what the fans came for. They wanted to see the Blue Jays do this, walk off the field, high-fiving each other against the Yankees. They only score in one inning again today. But the great pitching by the Blue Jays make it stand up, and they have now pulled to a half a game of the New York Yankees in the Eastern Division.
The Blue Jays bullpen can go toe-to-toe with the Yankees the way it's set up right now. The Blue Jays are half game behind New York. We'll see you Tuesday night from Philly. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Lots more coming up. Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.